When somebody asks me for help on something,
Mhm.
my wife and I have a foundation, and we put money, 10% of our income goes into the foundation. And so I have money available for any cause that moves my heart all the time. I don't have to check and go, wonder if I can afford it. The foundation either has money in it or it doesn't. And so we have ways, but even with that, I'm cautious about never doing for someone what they should be doing for themselves. They have a right to the dignity of their fate. They have a right to their consequences. They have a right for life to teach them the lessons that they've set up for themselves. And I can stand beside them and I can let them lean on me during the storm, but I can't walk their walk for them.
How does it feel to come from a place of love when it comes to Perry, as opposed to shutting him out and pushing him away? How does it feel as a parent to just be accepting of his situation and coming from a place of love as opposed to the opposite?
Yeah, so I wrote a poem about the relentlessness of God's love. And I started to view it as like God's love is like sunshine.
Mhm.
And like I'm in this beach house right now in San Diego, where we're here for Dory for treatment. And I'm looking out, and literally I'm looking at the ocean right behind me. I wish I could show you, but it blows out the camera. It's like, but we're on the ocean, and it's in Oceanside, California, and the sun is streaming down. I'm inside. I'm not being hit by the sun, but anytime I want to, I can walk out on the deck and the sun is there. It doesn't go away. It doesn't chase me. It doesn't go away when I'm not. It's there.
Right.
And this is God's love is relentless. It's always available. It just is. And you can reject it, you can hide from it, or you can step into it and feel it. And so what I want, the sunlight doesn't judge me. God's love doesn't judge me. What I aspire to is to be that pure love for my children, where my love for them is relentless and permanent and available to them because it just is.
Mhm.
And
Love that.
obviously I fall short of that. But if I fall short of that, it's because I'm not remembering who I really am, which is love.
I love that. So let's talk about the psychedelics revealed. How far into that documentary series are you?
So we completed that. I was listening to my bio and I'm like, first off, it's too long, and we sent it to you, so I can't.
I did pare it down, actually.
This is what happens when somebody wants you to know every single flipping thing they've ever done.
Right.
So, and we've done a dozen series since Psychedelics Revealed. Psychedelics Revealed was spectacular, and we learned. Again, for me, like MDMA is not a psychedelic. But it's certainly in that class. That was the single most important event of my adult life. And I've watched people benefit greatly from resolving childhood trauma by doing these things. I've also watched people who, like during that series, we took 6 people to Costa Rica to 𝐟𝐸₼ia and filmed them and interviewed them daily after they did 4 successive ayahuasca journeys.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really great because we had one person who it was the most horrific experience of his life, that it literally installed some trauma, and 2 other people who were just rainbows and sunlight. And so it gave us a very accurate description. I've now watched a lot of people who've gone down that road and then they just stay on it. Like, I have one friend who's done dozens and dozens and dozens of ayahuasca journeys, and each one is the answer. And then she does it again. And then she does it again. And I'm like,
I thought you already had the answer.
Yeah. It's like this time God really spoke to you. It's like, how many times do you need that? And so I realized it can easily become another trap that's avoiding dealing with the real issues. So we saw outcomes that were wonderful, and we saw people that ended up, making a house where they should have been passing through, and now they just live there.
Now, with your research on psychedelics, did you find that people that were already addicted to drugs and alcohol, I'm assuming that you studied people that were addicted to drugs and alcohol, as well as people that were just seeking personal development or enlightenment or whatever you want to call it, what was the success rate of getting people off of drugs and alcohol if they were to engage in psychedelics?
It's interesting. While we were at 𝐟𝐸∞, there was an anomaly. They have a weekly cohort, and there was an anomaly that week where like 50% of the people that were there as active addicts trying to get off of whatever they were addicted to. There was a very high percentage in that cohort of about 100 people. And the staff was talking about how these were the most difficult people to work with. And it was a tumultuous week. We didn't do the follow-up to see the outcomes. You know, we're doing a film, not a study. And so we didn't do the follow-up. But I don't think that it was very high in terms of success rate of, I have seen with ibogaine, iboga, with heroin addicts, that it has a profound effect of breaking physical addiction immediately.
To get a free copy of the 12-step guide that I created for you, click on the link in the description below.
I think it's probably, for opiate addiction, the single most powerful medical intervention that I'm aware of. At the same time, my son Perry's done it 3 times. So, you know, even if you break the physical chains of addiction, if you haven't changed internally, then within a few months, people tend to return to their old behaviors.
Well, even if you change internally, you still, in my opinion, my experience anyways, you also have to have the environment to support that internal change, because you make the internal change. And with my understanding with psychedelics, they allow you to change your neural pathways more quickly than abstinence. Abstinence is what worked for me. I've been sober since 2011. However, my experience I've seen with some people, it just, they're able to get 10 years of therapy in 6 months or something like that. So they're able to reprogram and create new neural pathways more quickly. However, they have to also change the way that they live their life, change their environment, change the people that they spend their time with. So it's like new eating habits, new sleeping habits, new exercise habits. I pray and meditate, new friends, new hobbies, new interests. I surround myself with a community of people that are aligned with my values and the way that I want to live my life. If I continue doing the things that I was doing before the psychedelic, or before I get clean and sober, or if I continue, the path of least resistance is always to go back to doing what I was doing before.
Yeah, the mind under stress tends to return to its last place of safety, which is yesterday. But again, I hesitate to even talk with you about this stuff because you're the expert. I mean, like literally, when we were seeking out experts for us to film, you're one of the people that we saw out. So it's like, for me to have a strong opinion on anything is crazy, because I'm an observer in your space and you are an actual expert, and you're so right. And environment is everything. Even as you were saying that, I'm picturing you at Optimize. You know, you walk around Optimize, there's not drug addicts, there's not fat people, there's not, this is a group of people that look like you. This is people that are beyond healthy. They're going, for people who don't know that, one of the things that you do there, you go in there and do a cold plunge where, and because I just finished my own cold plunge challenge where I did my cold plunge at home every day for the month of March.
Yeah.
Every single day. Again, I bought a cold plunge 6 or 8 months ago and never even stuck a toe in it. I could
Right.
not make myself do it. And so finally I got mad and said, I'm going to do this every day for the month of March. And I was out of town 2 days. And so the deal was every day I'm in town. I missed 2 days. And finally, I finished March doing 9.5 minutes a day sitting in the cold plunge. But
Wow.
every single day I had to stand there and I wanted to turn around and walk away, shut the lid back down, not get in it. And the discipline to get in that thing and do it, that changed me forever. So I'm picturing you at Optimize. These are people that are not just avoiding bad things in life. These are people that are reaching out for more, for better, to challenge themselves more. What a great environment.
Yeah, I love it. I was actually there this morning with Max Hansen, and it was amazing. I go there and there's a bunch of people that are focused on wellness and recovery. And it's not like I also work out. I go to the gym. I lift weights. I do high intensity interval training. And the people that I see at F45, for example, they're all into health and fitness. However, it's more than just the health and fitness. It's more than just the physical aspect, which what I get at Optimize, it's mind, body, spirit. It's also mental, emotional, spiritual, which I believe is imperative to my all around health. And so that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah, I had to reset my self-image. I started in January doing exercise with oxygen therapy every day for the month of January. And that habit has continued. And then in March, to every day do the cold plunge. And there was literally a reset. I have so much evidence. It turns out I am the type of person who keeps commitments to himself. And I did not have that belief in December of last year. But now the evidence is overwhelming that I'm somebody who keeps his commitments to himself. And because I've seen myself do it day after day after day.
So with Perry, what are some of the things that you believe that you've done well that you can share with other parents or other people that have loved ones that are struggling with addiction? Maybe your top three tips that help you stay grounded in your own peace and serenity.
It's really only a top one. And the thing that I'm most proud of is that Perry does not lie to me. And the reason he doesn't lie to me is because I don't require him to lie to me. Instead, it's like when I mentioned, I go, Perry, what are you taking? And Dad, I'm taking everything. He can say that to me because he knows I'm not going to advise him. I'm not going to judge him. I'm not going to tell him, well, you ought to try this, you ought to try that. I'm there when he asks a question. I've got lots of resources that if he asks for them, I'm delighted to share and help, but I don't put them on him. I don't give him help when he's not asking for it. I don't try to change him, and I don't judge him. I see him as a perfect human who's having a difficult journey, who took on a tough assignment, and I wish him well. And this lack of judging and lack of an urgency in me to rescue him or change him is what I've evolved to. And again, I would yield to you if you said, well, Jeff, that's the wrong approach. You're the expert. This is just my experience.
How do you, what about staying away from enabling behavior? Because on one hand, you want to love him, you want to accept him, you want him to come to you, you want him to be honest with you. How do you stay away from enabling him? Because I could see that would potentially be an issue.
And so it's not with he and I, because that's not my role, and he's clear. And with his mother, she's such a capable enabler that it's not required. And it's really, we are the two polar opposites. Like, so he doesn't want that from me or need it from me, but he's getting those, I don't want to call them needs, but we'll call them his enabling needs are fully met somewhere else.
Do you have boundaries that you hold with them?
Oh yes, where my mentor taught me, dependency breeds contempt 100% of the time. And so a follow-up to this is never do for someone what they should be doing for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mental framework when I deal with friends, when I deal with people I want to help, is how do I help this person without doing something for them that they should be doing for themselves, or without creating dependency? Because if I let them become dependent on me, they're eventually going to hate me. And I
Mm-hmm.
love this relationship. I don't want to lose this person, so I cannot let them become dependent on me. And so these are guardrails that are coming up in my mind all the time when somebody asks me for a loan, when somebody asks me for help on something.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I have a foundation, and we put money, 10% of our income goes into the foundation. And so I have money available for any cause that moves my heart all the time. I don't have to check and go, wonder if I can afford it. The foundation either has money in it or it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have ways, but even with that, I'm cautious about never doing for someone what they should be doing for themselves. They have a right to the dignity of their fate. They have a right to their consequences. They have a right for life to teach them the lessons that they've set up for themselves. And I can stand beside them and I can let them lean on me during the storm, but I can't walk their walk for them.
Got value from this video. If you heard what you needed to hear, be sure to like it. Comment if you've got a question or you have something to say. Subscribe to the channel. Camelback Recovery provides treatment services for people struggling with mental health, mental illness, addiction, alcoholism, whatever it may be. So if you or a loved one is struggling and you need some guidance and you need some direction, reach out to us. Our contact information is down below, or you can go to our website, camelbackrecovery.com, whether it be detox, inpatient treatment, outpatient treatments, recovery coaching, sober companion services, whatever it may be. Like I said, we can either help you or make sure that you get sent in the right direction. We help people all over the country, all over the world for that matter. I'll see you on the next video.